Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I'm going to be talking about the moon sextile or trine the north node in a natal chart. Now, if you have, well, first off, let me be kind and rewind. When I first did my YouTube astrology channel, I did a series on the aspects of the natal chart. They're a little bit concise, and some people may refer to the videos as snappy, so what I decided to do was make another series on them in which the videos would be a little bit longer and more descriptive. So anyway, first thing up is if you have the moon sextile or trine, the north node in a natal chart, you may easily meet that need, which is the moon, to develop the positive attributes that are connected with the north node position. If you have the north node, say in Aquarius, the positive attributes can be simply being altruistic, selfless, unobtrusive, considerate, ingenious, doing things, more for the collective good, more for things that would benefit many, not about standing out, which is going away from the South Node in Leo, of course. In that example, it's more about doing things and group-related efforts. And the thing about this too is that if you have one of these aspects in your natal chart in the future, which is the north node, may be beneficial in terms of the emotional needs, or you can just have very good harmony, with both. And in the future, now, if you have your emotional needs, let's say if the moon is in Gemini, the emotional needs may be tied in, just simply variety, expressing versatility. Um, it could be just communication, assimilating and disseminating information, things associated with manual dexterity, such as auto or refrigeration mechanics, as some examples. And the thing too is about these aspects is that the mother and family, which is the moon, may be very auspicious in terms of your destiny, which is the north node. Now, if the north node is in Aries, as an example, that destiny, may be tied in to doing something in which you express leadership prowess and ability. It could be something where courage is shown strongly, where you have to be aggressive and assertive, and it could be doing something Aries related, like an Aries related field such as firefighting or work in the military, law enforcement, combative or volatile sports. It could be working as a speech pathologist or physical therapist, welding, carpentry, as some other examples. Now also too, having moon sextile or trine the north node in a natal chart can be favorable for just feeling, which is the moon, like doing what needs to be emphasized in the second half of one's life, which is the north node. If the north node, say, is in the zodiac sign Cancer, as an example, the things that may be needed, may be emphasized in that second part or second half of one's life, may be tied in with caring, nurturing, expressing, sympathy, dedication, devotion, expressing unconditional love. If you have, it could be doing something, um, you could be doing something Cancerian related, whether it's some field associated with cooking, culinary work, restaurant work, laundry, plumbing, real estate, home renovation or remodeling, working in interior decoration, or as a home caregiver, as some other examples. Now, another thing about these aspects, if you have the moon sextile or trine the north node in a natal chart, it could also be favorable in terms of the people that you're close to home with, which is the moon, being very positive in terms of you attaining that mission or purpose, which is the north node. Now, if the north node is in Virgo, say, that mission or purpose may be tied in with something with analytics or statistics, things that require, punctilious, being punctilious with details, um, cleaning, sanitation, organizing, compartmentalizing. It could be doing something like defragging, like the computer, being able to compartmentalize things just in general. And organization can be very strongly, emphasized and accentuated as some examples. Now, another thing about these aspects, it can be moon sextile or trine the north node in a natal chart can be propitious in terms of being destined, doing something with the public. It can be where where the qualities that you're expressing or whatever you may do in connection with the north node can be very favorable in terms of dealing with the public with this. And it could be the characteristics of a north node. It could be tied in with the field associated with the north node placement. If you have the north node in Libra site, it could be doing something associated with the law or art, arbitration, negotiation. It may be even work with scales. In some instances, scales are connected with Libra because Libra is about balance. It may be something associated with persuasion, such as working as a salesman. So those are some examples for that. Now, another thing about these aspects, if you have the moon sextile or trine the north node in a natal chart, it could also manifest in being easily able to respond, which is the moon, to issues that need to be confronted and addressed, which is the north node. If the north node is in Scorpio, as an example, those issues may be tied in with crisis, upheavals. It might be dealing with some kind of emergency, or something where a major transformation needs to take place. It could be issues with wills or inheritances, shared resources situations, matters with support or credit card, as some examples. Now, another thing about these aspects is that if you have the moon sextile or trine the north node in a natal chart, is that the unconscious side, the inner personality, which is the moon, may be really advantageous in terms of what you're moving toward, which is the north node. Now, let's say if you have your moon in Leo as an example, that unconscious side, the inner personality, may be one that's very creative, courageous, has a lot of fortitude, is one that can be extroverted, gregarious, even flamboyant, showy. It could be giving that impression of grandeur from time to time, but it may be advantageous in terms of what you're actually moving for. Confidence does never can hurt anybody in terms of the direction you're moving toward. Now, the thing too is you may also readily put yourself where you're emotionally vested. Emotions, of course, is the moon, in terms of what you're learning and aspiring to be, which is the north node. If the north node is in Sagittarius, as an example, what you're learning and aspiring to be could simply be somebody that is targeting one philosophy or belief. It could be something tied in with higher education, or just being jovial, jocular, being able to speak with veracity, being truthful about things, even if it might be it might come across as a little bit blunt, even tactless, being philosophical about matters, expansive, optimistic. That is where you may be learning and aspiring to be if the north node is in Sagittarius, and you may be really emotionally vested in doing so. And also too, the moon related people may be very beneficial in terms of what you're moving toward, and again, learning and aspiring to be, developing those qualities and attributes connected with the north node position. When I say moon related people, of course that covers a lot, and it could be, home family members, people you're close to home with. It could be those that are in moon-related professions, whether it's people involved in cooking, culinary work, plumbing, laundry, and also those that, just, people that, again, that you could be very close to home with. Anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment. Until next time, Edwin Learnard saying stay well.